Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 300 based on novel. So let's start. Qian Ying took Xiao Yang and the children, and instantly turned into a thunder beam, and within a breath of time, they completely disappeared in the pill hall. Xiao Yang chopped awful. Dookie Fei, you are bad for me. Next time we meet again, I will definitely make you experience all kinds of torture. A trace of anger appeared on the pale cheeks of the living dead, and in an instant, Xiao Yang's purgatory formation was easily cracked. Without the support of Xiao Yang's power, the purgatory formation could be easily cracked by him. Since the young pill has disappeared, then this place is also useless, destroy it. The majestic killing intent emerged, and the living dead immediately put away the long 100 puppets, and the bright palms with dark ghosts slammed on the disc. Go! Boom! Attacked by the tyrannical power of the living dead, countless mysterious runes like ants on the disc suddenly brightened, with a creepy Xeon aura emerging. And the dazzling ghost energy of the living dead came to the edge of the stone seat on the disc, and it was directly swallowed by it. Not good. Feeling a little uneasiness, the living dead didn't dare to stay in Dudu, and just jumped away and disappeared here. At the same time, the countless runes on this disc slowly dimmed. On the other side, Du Qifei burst out with dazzling strength, and left the pill hall with the children and Xiao Yang. The three left the pill hall and immediately came to a virgin forest. The virgin forest was quite huge and stretched as far as the eye could see, but at the end of the virgin forest was the tomb of the heavenly kings. Stop for me. The three of them had just come to a remote corner of the Primeval forest, and Xiao Yang suddenly shouted, his voice full of seriousness. Oh! Hearing this, Duo Qifei put Xiao Yang and the children down in an instant, then landed next to a stream, and said coldly, "Where does your power come from?" Xiao Yang looked at Duan Qifei's dazzling strength and couldn't help but said with anger. Duo Qifei's strength was originally only at the initial stage of the 3-star fighting immortals, but now his strength has clearly reached the completeness of the 3-star fighting immortals, and because of his status as a reincarnator, the stronger the strength, the more thorough the reincarnation will be. After the strength reaches the peak, completely successful reincarnation, I am afraid that this girl will also become another person, which is also what Xiao Yang does not want to see. I cultivated myself. When Xiao Yang asked this question, Du Qifei, like a little girl who did something wrong, lowered her head to her chest and muttered in a low voice, "That bastard." Suddenly, a furious roar like a soul beast emerged from the corner of Xiao Yang's mouth. Don't blame him, anyway, this thing will happen sooner or later. And if it weren't for his help, I'm afraid the situation just now is really dangerous. At this moment, Du Qifei seemed to have no air, just afraid of doing something wrong. The little girl who was criticized was average. That hastily activated the power of the reincarnation rune and tried to merge in advance. Although he did this so that your strength has skyrocketed to the level of a 3-star fighting fairy, but this will make you reincarnate in advance. You didn't say that you only want to do it. A little girl who has no worries about food and clothing. Next time I meet him, even if I die, I will make him look good. Xiao Yang roared. People can change. I used to think that way, but now it's different. After all, such a powerful force. Duo Qifei whispered. You. Forget it, I don't care about you. Seeing Duo Qifei's words, Xiao Yang immediately became angry and said angrily, I'm sorry. Seeing Xiao Yang being so serious, Duo Qifei immediately said apologetically, but then he said in a voice that only he could hear, I'm sorry, just let me be self-willed, after all, I am also there are people who want to protect. Duo Qifei could feel that Xiao Yang was caring about him meticulously, so Xiao Yang's impression, the status in his heart, even vaguely surpassed his father's. Oh, forget it. After a while, seeing that Duo Qifei was fine, Xiao Yang also shook his head and said, Don't worry, at least until the reincarnation rune is completely reincarnated, I'm still me. And even if the reincarnation rune is completely reincarnated, I will still be me. After a while, Duan Qifei looked at Xiao Yang who was a little angry, and smiled sweetly. Hopefully. Xiao Yang nodded slowly, but for the reincarnation rune, even Xiao Yang did not know, after the success of reincarnation, whether it was based on the personality of this life or would undergo earth-shaking changes. As the two became quiet, the children who were bound by the blood tablet and the power of Du Qifei's thunder suddenly walked slowly, trying to escape from here. Hey, the little guy is quite cute, but you still underestimated the strength of my sister. There should be many seals in the Pill Palace, so you cannot leave the Pill Palace with your own strength, so you can only use us to escape the Pill Palace. However, the power of thunder in my hand is not extraordinary, so your good strategy is also miscalculated. Suddenly, Duo Chifei slowly came to the child's side, bent down and smiled at him. Obviously the child's heart. The strategy has already been seen through by Du Chifei. Humph. If it weren't for the extremely strange thunder power on your body, I'm afraid the two of you are now my dead souls. The child snorted coldly. Obviously, this failure was enough to put him in a desperate situation. Xiao Yang, let's do it. To get rid of this guy's intelligence completely, it will truly become a 5th grade immortal rank young pill. After a while, Du Chifei said. En. Looking at the smiling woman in front of him, Xiao Yang also nodded slowly, then said, and immediately walked over to the child. Don't worry, with your existence, I won't let the reincarnation rune reincarnate easily. After all, I want to protect you. And even if the reincarnation rune is completely reincarnated, I won't let her dominate. Looking at Xiao Yang's body that was close to a stalwart, Du Chifei said with a smile, this Xiao Yang is undoubtedly the most important person besides his father. Take care of yourself. You guy is a good calculus. When he came to the child, Xiao Yang smiled, but Xiao Yang could sense that the power of thunder outside the child clearly contained reincarnation. Otherwise, with the intelligence and power of the immortal rank 5th rank young pill, it would have already been broken out. Although my current situation is not good, but with your mediocre strength in the early stage of the 3-star battle of immortals, you are trying to obliterate my intelligence, which is a fool's dream. Facing Xiao Yang, the child smiled disdainfully. Really? Xiao Yang disapproved. The khaki-colored fire heart heavenly rock lingered on the palm of his hand, and immediately covered the child's body. The dazzling power of holy flame ignored it and eroded away at the child. Suddenly, this guy screamed out. That's not enough. Seeing that the figure of the child kept disappearing and the dazzling incense appeared, it was obvious that he was obliterating his wisdom and returning to his body. Xiao Yang suddenly spoke. As soon as the voice fell, a dazzling flame of the sky emerged from the other palm, and then the palms suppressed the child impressively. Boom. The touch lasted for about 5 minutes, and then the child's body completely disappeared, revealing only a lustrous elixir the size of a longan. The ultimate power continues to emerge. This young Dan's intelligence, even if it falls, would never have thought that his own self-righteousness turned out to be digging his own grave. Is this the immortal rank 5th grade young pill? Looking at the dragon's eye-sized elixir in front of him, Xiao Yang murmured to himself. Until now, everything is ready and only owed to Dongfeng, only to inject the medicinal material into the young pill, swallow the material of the immortal fire, and then it is completely ready. Now that you're ready, let's go. I have already sensed the aura of Sister Liu Qing and the others. Du Chifei laughed as he watched Xiao Yang subdue the young pill. Let's go, meet them in the past, and I'm afraid the next thing will be the highlight of the ruins. Xiao Yang finished speaking, but also knew the importance of the matter. Anyway, the young pill has been obtained, and there is no rush to refine the pill, so the second the speed of people skyrocketed, heading towards the core of the Primeval Forest. Xiao Yang knew that there were many dangers in the ruins, such as the fascinating Heavenly Palace, but the powerhouses on the 4 continents were not vegetarians, so they could not stop them for too long. The object of everyone's competition, after all, there is the lifelong learning of Tianwang Zhangzang. Except for Xiao Yang and everyone in such a hurry, the other powerhouses are also heading towards the depths of the Primeval Forest. This virgin forest, with its flat terrain and overgrown trees, with ancient trees of hundreds of feet in the sky, set off a rather mysterious place, and its core is located in the center of the flatland. Sister Liu Qing, do you think Sister Feiya and the others will be okay? A few figures and a man slowly appeared under an ancient tree. I haven't seen Xiao Yang and the others since they came out from the Heavenly Palace of Fascinating Souls. But Feiya and Xiao Yang should be fine when they are together. Liu Qing heard the words, her beautiful eyes flashing, and she was looking at Yuan Yang who was on the side. She knew that if this little girl hadn't existed on this trip, I'm afraid they would be there. There will be heavy losses in the fascinated Heavenly Palace. All of them entered the Heavenly Palace of Bewilderment. Fortunately, they had Yuan Yang, who just cracked the formation, and then entered the Netherworld. Although they encountered a lot of dangers, it was fortunate that there were no surprises, and they also gained something. However, although we successfully crossed the Mingza, the other powerhouses above the 4 continents also entered here unharmed. This should be where the treasures of the Heavenly King's relics are located. Most of the powerhouses above the 4 continents are some of the late Samsung Dozian or even the perfect level powerhouse. This is extremely unfavorable for us. The only man in the team said, the voice. There is a rare solemnity in it. The one who fought against us in the Mingza is probably Shenjun from the Soul Beast Alliance. The summoned soul beast in that guy's hand is very powerful, so we must guard against it. Yu Ran and the two women on the side said, obviously in the dark in Zhejiang, encountering guys from the Soul Beast Alliance made them suffer a lot. I can only take one step at a time, I can feel their breath, let's go. After a while, Yun Qi looked at a space outside the ancient tree, and the speed skyrocketed. When the other powerhouses saw this, they followed suit, but the two daughters of Yuan Yang, who were always lively, had a gloomy expression. Is this the depths of the Qianwangzhangzang ruins? I hope that the strong man in the Soul Palace didn't deceive us, otherwise our hidden soul will definitely not be able to spare him. Behind the ancient tree and rock, 3 men wearing hats appeared. These 3 people are impressively the third of the 4 heroes of the Hidden Soul Society. Second brother, how are we doing now? The fourth brother Mo Yu asked slowly. Big brother is worried that the people in the Soul Palace are playing tricks behind the scenes, so I followed them to find out without the knowledge of the Soul Palace powerhouses, and we entered here, firstly to obtain the Tianwang seal in the hands of Qianwangzhangzang, and secondly to see can you release the sky poison break? After all, only when Tiandusha is saved can we be sure to break the seal of the Jusha Demon Empress, and the thing that saves my lord exists in the hands of the Jusha Demon Empress. As long as we get the key to save my lord and release my lord, then God will Ming Shanzhuang will also be self-defeating. Mo Baixian, the second child, looked into the depths of the forest and said, it's not too late, let's do it. Entering the tombs of the ruins as soon as possible, we can also take the lead, otherwise the many powerhouses in these 4 continents will be quite difficult. Mo Yu Zaidu said, don't worry, it's not that simple in this mausoleum. We have treasures and can isolate them from their investigations, so we temporarily hide in the dark. After they fight for it, we will act according to the opportunity, which can also save a lot of trouble. The second child, Mo Baixian, laughed. Go, suppress your breath, be careful. After speaking, the second child, Mo Baixian, spoke up. Tianwangzhangzang and Tiandusha? Just moved, when the third Mo Ran shook his head helplessly, and he didn't know why this guy did this. This is the depths of the ruins, and beyond this virgin forest, you can enter the corpse of Qianwangzhangzang. When the time comes, the seal of the Heavenly King is at your fingertips. On a quiet path, 2 figures with mysterious guqin on their backs slowly came out. Junior brother, the strength of this Heavenly King before hiding is no small thing, even after his death, it should not be underestimated. And I don't know why, the closer I got to the mausoleum, the more uneasy the Shen Yuqin behind me became. The woman Nebula spoke slowly, her jade hand gently stroking the guqin behind me, wondering. What? Shen Yuqin actually feels uneasy? This is unprecedented. The man Liu Yun frowned when he heard the words, thinking. Shen Yuqin, this is the treasure of the shaking religion in their Tianyin religion. It is said that it was a powerful personal immortal weapon that had a tyrannical suppression of evil forces such as foreign evil clans. But now Shen Yuqin is actually feeling uneasy, so there might be something dangerous in the tomb of the Heavenly King. Senior sister, let's take a step by step, you have come here, you can't come back without success. Liu Yun gritted his teeth slightly, and then said, when you enter the tomb, I will protect you. The premise of seizing treasures is to put your own safety first. Do you understand? Senior sister Xingyun asked. Okay. After speaking, the 2 of them also walked towards the depths one after another. One Soul Palace. Senior brother, passing through this forest is probably the entrance to the tomb of the Heavenly King. I'm afraid there is a place of right and wrong. The 2 stood side by side, and Lin Lin said. The 2 senior brothers of Wanxian Palace are named Lin Yuan, and their junior brother is Lin Lin. Our 10,000 Souls Palace specializes in soul art, but the depths of the ruins seem to make me feel quite uneasy, be careful. After speaking, the 2 of them also walked away cautiously towards the depths. Damn. Although the guys above Dongju are weak, their cooperation with each other is seamless, and they have not been solved in the Dark Sea. If this matter spreads to Xiao Yang and Du Chifei, it will be more troublesome. After all, the ruins are just around the corner. If the 2 of them are embarrassing me, I'm afraid they can only use that thing. The dragon-type soul beast that my father cultivated at a great price, I feel a little heartache when I think of using this thing to deal with Xiao Yang and the others. The figure of the Soul Beast Alliance, Shenjun, was walking on the path alone, muttering slowly. With their intelligence network, they naturally investigated a lot of Xiao Yang's information, so even he was quite apprehensive. Xiao Yang, wait, this tomb of the Heavenly King is yours. Everything I lost will be taken back here. In another place, Mu Shi also said gloomily, but at this time, Mu Shi was haunted by ghosts, and he was not a human being, a ghost or a ghost. The appearance, and even the breath soared to the level of Samsung Dozyan perfection. A war intensified. In the Primeval forest, the sound of countless insects emerged, as if they were talking about endless lamentations, and the source of this sound could not be traced. Not long after, Xiao Yang and their army joined together. Big brother Xiao Yang? In a dark forest path, Yun Qi and everyone looked at Xiao Yang's safe and sound figures, and immediately said with relief, "Are you all right?" Seeing this, Xiao Yang and the two also moved directly towards them. After a closer look, Yun Qi, Liu Qing, sisters of the Yu family, Mu Ji, and the two daughters of Yuan Yang were all there. "It's all right." Everyone talked and laughed, and then they suddenly sank. From here, it is the place where Tianwang Zhangzang fell. After a while, Yuan Yang's small face slowly emerged with a dignified look, and said, "Don't worry, there is me." Sensing Yuan Yang's seriousness, Xiao Yang said, "En." After everyone finished speaking, they also walked towards the depths of the Primeval forest. In the depths of the virgin forest, here is a rather spacious lake. The lake is surrounded by some ancient trees and rocks. The lake is sparkling, and rhythmic waves of water continue to emerge, and the center of the lake is at the place, a conspicuous whirlpool slowly whirls. The central part of the silver lake in the depths of the whirlpool seems to have an extremely mysterious power, which makes people feel cold at a glance. Hey! After a while, many figures appeared around the lake. Could this be the entrance to the tomb of the Heavenly King? After a while, Xiao Yang and the others hid in an ancient tree, looked at the lake and said, "It should be right. The information given to me by the fascinated old ghost is that the tomb of Tianwang Zhangzang is located in the center of the lake deep in the ruins." Xiao Yang's eyes narrowed slightly, and the dazzling soul power slanted out like a tide. "There is no danger in this lake. Could it be a trap?" The pastoral song on the side also sensed it. After sensing no results, he said, "After all, they encountered too many dangers in the dark lake before, but the depths of the ruins actually there was no dangerous aura, which made them all quite vigilant." Bang bang bang. Xiao Yang heard the words, but did not speak, but his eyes slowly stared at the huge vortex in the lake below. In the vortex, an extremely tyrannical power of space emerged, as if the power of space was the gateway to the elsewhere. But on second thought, if this lake whirlpool is really the key to entering the tomb of the Heavenly King, how could there be no defense at all? Otherwise, the tomb would be too easy to enter. Will the guardian guarding the entrance of the mausoleum be under the lake? Du Chifei's beautiful eyes slowly opened his mouth. Probably not, but it must be avoided. Xiao Yang nodded and said, although he had already probed the depth of nearly 1,000 meters under the lake to make it clear that there was no danger, but he was not sure that there were some terrifying things in the deeper depths. "Forget it, wait and see." After a short while, Xiao Yang said helplessly, "Crash. This is the entrance to the interior of the ruins, but why does it make me feel uneasy?" Liu Yun and Nebula also came to a rock and said slowly, "Senior sister, this is the entrance to the ruins, let's go." Liu Yun on the side checked it carefully and found that the whirlpool in the center of the lake had no other defensive power, and immediately said, "Liu Yun is bound to win the ruins." After all, although he has a good talent and strength, his inner treasure is in the hands of his senior sister, so he naturally wants to get some useful treasures from the ruins. "Let's go." Qian Ying took off the jade piano behind her, and the jade fingers gently plucked the strings, and two soft halos immediately enveloped the two of them, so the two gently stepped on the surface of the lake and moved towards the vortex in the center goes away. Someone moved. That's the guy from the Tianyin sect. And many other powerhouses were standing still at this time, and their eyes became hot when they saw the two of the Tianyin sect first set foot on the water. "I don't know where that Xiao Yang went. If you meet him in the depths of this ruins, I will definitely make you go away." In the dark, the eyes of Mu Shi and the living dead all converged at the same time. Immediately, the two exuded a hint of eerie aura, and no one knew why the two were united. "Do you want to do it?" Watching the guy from Tianyin's sect take the lead towards the whirlpool, Duo Chifei also asked. At this time, Duo Chifei, with the complete strength of the dignified 3-star fighting immortals, plus the help of palm fighting skills and magical weapons, I am afraid that in the competition of the 4 continents where the strong are like clouds, he can also occupy a quite advanced position. Not to mention the existence of reincarnation runes. Wang buzzing. In an instant, the holy flame in Xiao Yang's body slowly trembled, sending out a rather uneasy and strange aura, which made Xiao Yang's heart tremble. "Wait, I have space to travel through the handprints." If there is no danger, we can go to the center of the vortex in no time. Xiao Yang resisted the impulse in his heart and stared at the two Tianyin sect in front of him. Second brother, let's do it. And behind the ancient trees and rocks, in a dark and damp corner, the eyes of the three figures in mink clothes and hats became gloomy, waiting. Now is not the best opportunity to do it. And there are a lot of powerhouses hiding around this lake now, and there are no less than 5 or 6 people who have the perfect strength of Samsung Dozian. We must be sure to win this trip. The leader said vigilantly, and calmed down after speaking. Above the lake, a man and a woman wrapped in the mysterious power of the Guqin walked slowly on the water, and then paced gently, taking every step with extreme care. As for the outside of the lake, countless pairs of eyes just stared at them. Senior sister, there doesn't seem to be any danger here. After a while, Liu Yun's expression became strange and he said softly, "Let's go." At the same time, senior sister Nebula also noticed that there was no danger on the lake, as if there was just a strange whirlpool that didn't know where to go. Crash. Just as senior sister Nebula finished speaking, her jade hand plucked the strings quickly, and then bursts of tyrannical rays of light emerged from the Guqin, wrapping the two of them, and rushing directly into the whirlpool. Hey! In just a few breaths, the two came to the whirlpool. Everyone, let's go first. After a short while, Liu Yun grinned and roared away from the lake, and then the two of them jumped directly into the vortex and disappeared. There's nothing weird about this vortex, it's just a door to space. The ruins of Tianwangzangzang are right in front of you. Go on, everyone. Do it. After a while, silhouettes that were as fast as lightning suddenly jumped out, and then flew away at Cheng Cheng, so that Xiao Yang and everyone were not to be outdone. In an instant, dozens of strong men would get up directly and jump into the vortex. In the vortex, there is a door of space connecting the ruins of the Tianwangzangzang. Crash. As the crowd moved towards the lake vortex one after another, in the whirlpool, bursts of tyrannical space power emerged, and then everyone just stepped into the whirlpool and was shrouded by the space power, thus send them elsewhere. Boom. After a violent fluctuation, the 4 continents' powerhouses also left the space channel at the same time, thus appearing in the depths of the ruins. Is this the relic of Tianwangzangzang? Looking at the huge complex of buildings in front of him, Mu Ji couldn't help taking a deep breath. The area of the conventional ruins is not too large, and the shape is quite simple, but the overall area of the ruins in front of them may occupy thousands of miles away, and the special shape also makes everyone's heart tremble. It's not so much a relic here, but a mausoleum. Xiao Yang and Du Qifei seemed to have known about it for a long time, so they were not surprised at all, but they were still a little curious about the mausoleum in the possession of the Heavenly King. At this time, everyone has entered the mausoleum, but this mausoleum is quite strange. The shape of the mausoleum is not like an ordinary mausoleum. The place where everyone stands at this time is not on the ground, but in the air, and there is a circular ground with hundreds of square meters under their feet. It is the top of a huge white jade column. The white jade pillars occupy the main body of the mausoleum, and the countless white jade pillars are ups and downs and vary in size, but without exception, there are circles of fine lines around or on the top of the walls of each white jade pillar. With tyrannical power, as if resisting the erosion of something. The white jade stone pillar that everyone stands is only the bottom of the huge white jade stone pillar. There are countless stone pillars on it, but at this time, everyone looks down, on the ground of the mausoleum, which is hundreds of meters away from the white jade stone pillar. It turned out to be a wisp of evil black mist. The evil black mist completely wrapped the ground of the entire mausoleum. It was eerie and strange, and it was shocking. At this time, everyone stood on the top of the towering white jade pillar. It turned out to be ignoring the erosion of the evil black mist, and even the white jade pillar was faint. The power of the evil black mist is also nibbling away between Jojo. It seems that the fascinated old ghost is right, and my guess is also right. Xiao Yang looked vigilantly at the abyss-like black mist below, and frowned heavily. Such a dazzling and rich black fog is probably not something that ordinary aliens can have. What should we do now? Seeing Xiao Yang saying nothing, Yun Qi immediately said. Since you're here, let's go to the high place where the corpse of the Heavenly King is hidden. After a while, Xiao Yang raised his head and looked at the white jade stone pillar above. The white jade stone pillars they were standing at this time were actually only the lowest existence. Between their heads, there were many tall white jade stone pillars above them. Those white jade stone pillars were undoubtedly taller and thicker. As for the upper part, there is even a suffocating, terrifying fluctuation. As expected, in this mausoleum, the top of the highest white jade pillar should be the corpse of the Heavenly King. But the white jade pillars are hundreds of meters away from each other, How do we get there? Furthermore, there is an abyss below. If you unfortunately fall down, I'm afraid. Liu Qing cultivated the light attribute and was naturally very sensitive to the evil aura, and the dark evil aura under the white jade pillar made her feel uneasy. If you fall, you will surely die. Don't worry, I'll try it. Xiao Yang heard the words and calmed the crowd. Then he slowly walked to the edge of the white jade stone pillar, ready to test one or two, but he didn't notice that Yuan Yang, who was beside him, slowly lowered his head and stared intently at the white jade stone pillar. Those tiny lines seemed to be checking something. Glancing at the heart-pounding evil aura below the stone pillar, Xiao Yang took a deep breath, and then his eyes became bright. Fire explosion technique. With a cold snort, flames suddenly appeared all over his body, and his steps became lighter, and he suddenly jumped to the white jade pillar hundreds of meters away. Boom! Just as Xiao Yang took off, countless dark auras from below suddenly attacked Xiao Yang like a poisonous snake. Not good. Although Xiao Yang's speed skyrocketed, the space of the mausoleum had an imprisoned suppression of the power of space, so Xiao Yang couldn't jump 100 meters for a while, and immediately his body fell towards the bottom. Feeling after reaching that tyrannical and strange black gas, his face changed greatly, and he hurriedly wanted to use the power of holy flame to defend. Wong buzz! Catch it! Just when Xiao Yang was shocked. Silver thunder appeared on Du Chifei's body, then gathered into a silver shackle, and threw it directly at Xiao Yang who fell below. Creeping. Seeing this, Xiao Yang attacked the black mist with one hand of flames, and directly held the silver shackles with the other. Are you alright? Seeing Xiao Yang's safety, everyone immediately asked with concern. It's okay, it's just that each of the white jade pillars in the ruins are hundreds of meters apart. You can't jump just by jumping in terror, and the power of space and the ability to fly are useless here. Xiao Yang he also sucked in a breath of cold air. Obviously, if it wasn't for Du Chifei's shot just now, I'm afraid it would have consumed a lot of means, and once it fell, it would be extremely troublesome. You don't have to use these things. Ever since I entered the tomb of the King of Heaven, I have smelled a familiar scent. Before the Heavenly King hid, if he wasn't a battle formation master, he was probably a strong man with a lot of high-level formations. As Xiao Yang came back, Yuan Yang's face slowly appeared on Yuan Yang's face. After a burst of joy, he stared at the mysterious lines on the surrounding white jade stone pillars, and smiled slowly. This is mental power. The core inscription. The fluctuation of the pattern. After a while, seeing Yuan Yang's actions, Xiao Yang was also surprised. Look at me. After a while, Yuan Yang's small face showed some excitement, and then she sat down with her legs crossed. The Chenkuan jade at her chest suddenly leaped out and spun rapidly around her body. Silk's tyrannical spiritual power also emerged. This girl's spiritual power is much more tyrannical than yours, and she is probably the first person I've ever seen among her peers. The master of Soul Eater couldn't help but admire. Forget it, just wait patiently. With Yuan Yang's action, Xiao Yang was able to discover a slight fluctuation, and the secret of the white jade pillar was slowly being cracked. It's just that the other powerhouses who entered the mausoleum are not as lucky as Xiao Yang and others. The white jade pillar is impressively designed to protect the last level of the Qianwang Zhangzang, and countless white jade pillars are stacked on top of each other. Only by stepping on the highest white jade pillar can we hit the corpse of the Qianwang Zhangzang. Sister, how is it? Have you found a way? On the white jade pillar, there are many strong people standing at this time, but at this time these strong people are all helpless. After all, the white jade pillar is extremely mysterious, and the bottom is filled with evil aura. The abyss of 10,000 feet, if you accidentally fall into it, I am afraid it will definitely fall. In addition to the imprisonment of the power of flight and space in the mausoleum here, it is not so easy to move up the white jade pillars. Not at the moment. Senior Sister Xingyun looked at the dim space and couldn't help but narrow her eyes. Obviously, this boundless evil aura, if it wasn't for the protection and isolation of the white jade pillar, I'm afraid they would have been in different places. But even so, it is still not that simple to go from the bottom stone pillar to the top stone pillar. And the many powerhouses who entered the mausoleum, the One Soul Palace, the Soul Beast Alliance, the Living Dead and many other powerhouses were all trapped by this white jade formation for a while. Obviously, even them, for a while. Helpless. Wong buzzing. On the white jade pillar where Xiao Yang and the others were, unexpectedly mysterious lines appeared. This is it. With Yuan Yang's continuous activation of his spiritual power, Xiao Yang's pupils shrank tightly and he lost his voice. Originally, there were quite a few mysterious lines on the ground above the white jade pillars, but they were too small and Xiao Yang didn't pay attention. However, with Yuan Yang's action, these small lines came out directly from everyone's feet, as if they had like life. It slowly floats in midair, forming countless light spots. This girl. Seeing Yuan Yang being so arrogant, her sister Yuan Hong smiled sweetly. Obviously, they all underestimated Yuan Yang's strength. Crash. Countless dense and tiny patterns scattered in the air, which instantly made everyone happy. Then, the heaven and earth jade bai in Yuan Yang's body was squirming, and on top of the bright jade bai, bursts of green light suddenly matched these. The tiny rays of light above the stone pillars gathered together, and suddenly bursts of rather special forces tilted out, and bursts of tiny runes made a cheerful sound. Thank you. After a while, Yuan Yang's beautiful eyes slowly opened, and she seemed to say a word to the tiny light spots around her, and then Chenku and Yubi suddenly put away and stood up. How's it going? Seeing that Yuan Yang finished casting the spell, Xiao Yang immediately asked. Let's go. These light spots are special powers that reside on the stone pillars. At the same time, if you want to climb to the top, you can only rely on their power. They are hidden very deeply. If you don't observe carefully, you can't find them. But it's all right. I just communicated with them. They can send us to the center of the mausoleum, but there seems to be something in the center of the mausoleum that makes them afraid. Yuan Yang said, and his eyes penetrated this dim space, looked up at everyone's heads. They. When everyone heard the words, they were immediately puzzled. These light spots should be sacred runes to resist the invasion of evil forces. Xiao Yang also nodded thoughtfully. Yuan Yang nodded lightly. Crash. As the voices of the two just fell, countless light spots instantly surrounded the white jade pillar, and then the white jade pillar that was at the bottom of this space, and was as solid as a rock at the feet of everyone, turned out to be slowly rising. Get up and go towards the top. Such a mysterious stone pillar. When they noticed that the stone pillar at the feet of everyone was slowly rising to the vine, everyone immediately felt incredible. Obviously, they did not move, but those tiny light spots provoked a mysterious force. Then the stone pillars grew wildly, pushing them towards the top of the tomb. That is Xiao Yang. How is that possible? Xiao Yang and the others are located on the white jade stone pillar at the bottom of the space like the other powerhouses, but at this time, the white jade stone pillar that Xiao Yang and the others are standing on rises towards the high place at an alarming speed. Seeing this, the other powerhouses couldn't help but narrow their eyes. These bastards. They actually cracked the secret of the white jade stone pillar. Mu Shi and the living dead both stood on the stone pillar and couldn't help shouting when they saw this scene. Those spots of light, these densely covered patterns on the surface of the white jade pillars are strange. Seeing Xiao Yang's crowd climbing steadily, the other powerhouses were immediately anxious, but they were, after all, one of the best powerhouses on the 4 continents. After a short while, the method of cracking was also detected, but the speed was obviously not as fast as theirs. It's almost at the top of the mausoleum. Xiao Yang and the others naturally ignored the other powerhouses. After all, the white jade pillars were separated by 100 meters. Even Xiao Yang couldn't jump over this distance, so the other powerhouses were angry, but they didn't care. Don't dare to do it rashly, you can only find a way to solve it according to the gourd painting. The energy of heaven and earth in the surrounding space is getting thinner and thinner. As the white jade stone pillars under everyone's feet rose towards the top at an alarming speed, Yuan Yang was the first to speak. I'm afraid there is something terrifying at the top of this tomb. It's better to be careful for a while. Xiao Yang heard the words, slowly raised his head, his eyes became extremely serious, and the dazzling soul power was also densely covered on everyone's bodies, preventing anything from suddenly attacking. Wong Buzz. This kind of fluctuation, is it really the sky poison break? It's just that the breath of Qianwang Zhangzang is so weak. It seems that there is only a trace of remnant left. It seems that the previous battle with the demon empress of the poison temple made Qianwang Zhangzang almost fall. As the speed increased, suddenly Soul Eater's eyes slowly penetrated the dark clouds and saw the top of the mausoleum. Crash. As the speed of the white jade pillar became faster and faster, everyone's vision became blurred, and the black and evil aura completely blocked the line of sight. Nothing unusual happened. We've reached the top of the tomb. 5 minutes later, the white jade column suddenly penetrated a layer of black mist, and then stopped abruptly. While penetrating the black mist, everyone in Xiao Yang felt a terrifying wave like death. The black fog was as frightening as it came from resisting the abyss, and it seemed to vaguely isolate the mausoleum. Arrive. Here, it's the tomb of Qianwang Zhangzang. Because of the reincarnation rune, Duo Chifei stared at a certain place in this space, where a shocking scene was reflected in everyone's pupils. Middle. At this time, everyone was still standing on the white jade pillar, but the black mist that had just penetrated seemed to separate this space from top to bottom. Below the black mist, it was a strange space of the white jade pillar and the black above the fog. It is the real mausoleum of Qianwangzangzang. The mausoleum located above the black fog is quite simple, with a continuous stream of sacred power emerging. The space is endless, and the white piece, the only thing that attracts everyone, is only a mountain. In front of everyone, an altar surrounded by countless dark ghosts emerged, and the altar occupied a huge area of nearly thousands of square meters. The hidden lines formed by countless ghosts on the altar floor slowly entangled. As for the center of the altar, a dark mountain peeked out of the sky. The area of the mountain is quite small, and around its walls, a tingling xeon aura emerges, but its height actually reaches hundreds of meters high. At the top of the mountain, there is a mirror-like smooth ground, covering an area of about tens of meters, and when everyone looked up and saw the ground, a stunned expression appeared in their heart. The circular ground at the top of the mountain is quite small, only tens of square meters in size, and can even accommodate only 10 people standing side by side. On top of it, a black coffin that was about Zhongshu stood quietly, as if it would never fall. The whole body of the coffin had a tingling black aura that made the scalp numb, eerie, protecting the coffin like a ghost. Other than that, a black giant sword wrapped in black flames suddenly pierced the entire coffin from top to bottom. Above the black giant sword, black flames lingered, and even when Xiao Yan saw the black flames, his pupils shrank tightly. The holy flame in the body burst into anger uncontrollably, and the holy flame heart at the chest also burst out with violent shaking, and an irresistible evil breath rushed towards the face. The coffin hidden by the heavenly king, and the heavenly poison temple. Xiao Yang's expression was extremely solemn, and his voice was also extremely heavy. This video will end here.